Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for another digital opening night. My name is Andrew Hungerford. I'm the producing artist director at No Theater. It's such a pleasure to have you all in our audience, all of the artists on this Zoom with us, and also any of you watching live on the old Facebook. This show was a huge undertaking, so I am going to talk a little bit more than I do normally on opening nights because there are so many people to thank. Also, normally I like scribble some notes on a program and speak off the cusp, off on the cusp, off the cuff. But apart from this paragraph that I'm saying right now, I've actually written down my remarks in an effort to not forget anyone, but I may still, for which I apologize in advance. So here we go. First of all, a quick shout out to the staff at the No who were not on the production side of this particular show. Our communications and marketing manager, Liz Carmen, she's in the Zoom. I'm pointing where she is on my screen. That may be unrelated to what you can see. And our artist and community relations manager, Zach Robinson, who I believe is in tech for cereals right now. So, yay! It's also so weird doing these things because I don't get to see audience response, so I just pretend that you're heckling me constantly. Next, I want to thank our cast, all of whom we're delighted to be welcoming back to the No stage for anywhere from the third to fifth time, depending on the cast member. In order of appearance, we have Elizabeth Chim Malloy, everyone. AJ Baldwin. Nathan Tubbs. And Montez O. Jenkins Copeland. And of course, a cast member who is not on this Zoom, who made her main stage debut with us, Baby J the Goat, courtesy of Benton Family Farms. So from when we first started considering the script, we knew it was going to be a big collaborative experience that incorporated all the kinds of things you generally see on stages and not on stages. And movement and dance are a huge part of that. And of course, the logical choice for that kind of collaboration in Cincinnati is, of course, choreographer Kim Popa and Pones. Yay! They always do such amazing work, and during this pandemic have also found so many additional ways to continue making dance and to activate the whole world with movement that I just find so inspiring. And I'm so grateful that they were part of this project. And thanks to our amazing Pones dancers, Courtney Duncan, Ian Timothy Forsgren, Ashley Olivia Morton, and Emily Vizina. With this being a big collaborative endeavor and this being a big show to sort of wrap your brain around, particularly during a pandemic, I had the sort of unorthodox idea of bringing together three of my favorite directors to build the show together. And to my delight, they all agreed to do it, even though they didn't necessarily know what they were getting into. and even though none of us were exactly sure what the final product would be at certain times. So I want to say a huge thank you to our Associate Artistic Director, Tamara Winters, to Brant Russell, to Daryl Harris. I am always grateful for the opportunity to make work with each of you, and I'm so glad that you jumped in on this project. I want to thank our friends, the Banksons, for giving us permission to use their song Even Then, which was brilliantly arranged for our cast by James Allen and Doug Borntrager. This song was last heard on our stage nearly 6 years ago in the show 100 Days, but it was actually cut from that show when it moved forward to New York and beyond. So it felt like the perfect song for us to reclaim to celebrate theater and this particular moment in the show when it appears. We also want to send a huge thank you to Dayton-based musician Yeti for letting us use his music to score the show as a whole, which is just so delightful. All right, now on to our hardworking production team. Making this show was like making a regular stage production, 3 different fringe productions, and a film simultaneously. We filmed in multiple locations, including the beautiful Imperial Theater in the Mohawk District, thanks to Julie Fay, who's in the process of reinventing it as a community art space. But because it's undergoing reinvention, it doesn't currently have heat. And of course, the weekend we filmed there was a weekend when Cincinnati decided, hey, what happens if I have a real winter? So I just want to express so much appreciation to the cast for following through with costume decisions that we made in a much warmer theater and selling it. And also to our whole team for making it happen in very trying circumstances. And I want to say thanks to the Lighthouse Green Learning Center with the greenhouse that we shot in, and of course to Jen Joplin for letting us film in Our Lady of Badassery, the same location that we used for Feast earlier this season. This being a hybrid piece means that we had a team member you don't normally see in theater, our cinematographer, Ryan Lewis, who is brilliant and patient and game for anything, and was such a great creative influence on the show. And then creating props and scenic art for us and offering moral support and generally making things happen is our design and production associate, Kayla Williams. And part of this show involved building a stage in a theater that was not our theater, because the stage that you see in the Imperial Theater in the show is not that theater stage. No, those are platforms that are normally our audience risers that have been assembled into a stage thanks to our carpenters, Nick Kelke and Rachel Berman, and our stagehands, James Allen, Robert Mackey, and John Rice. And of course, we need to thank our animal wrangler, Kara Trusty. So building all of this, hanging all the lights, figuring out ways for me to see what the lighting looked like in all of these different locations from 1,800 miles away, and coordinating multiple load-ins and making sure all of this streaming technology functions is our technical director, Henry Bateman. And of course, managing all the chaos of what can charitably be described as a logistically challenging production process, from the coordination of scheduling multiple directors, the cast members, the dancers, each location, as well as GOAT availability, and managing a film shoot, and doing all the other things that a stage manager is normally supposed to do, our resident stage manager, Megan Winter. And of course, thanks to our always brilliant costume designer, Noel Weddick Johnston. And I also need to express special appreciation for our resident sound designer, Doug Borntrager, with whom I was able to figure out how we were actually going to edit this thing together. For the last 2 weeks, we've been working collaboratively in the editing process, pushing versions back and forth, figuring out the balance of whose computer could render footage faster versus whose internet could make the upload in time. Spoiler alert, the person whose internet could make the upload in time was always Doug. And of course, so I just want to say, thanks to Doug, he and I have made so many shows together, and it is always such a joy to get to work so collaboratively with him on something like this. I believe he is also in Serials Tech right now. And of course, the person without whom we wouldn't even be having this opening, our playwright, the amazing Cara Dudds-Fitch. When Cara Dud first sent me this play nearly 1.5 years ago, what I wrote back to her was, I feel this script in my bones. And ever since then, we've been dreaming on this show together. And when we were faced with the pandemic at the No, we saw this show as the perfect culmination of our digital season. All season long, we've been working to answer the question, what is the essence of theater? What is the essential quality of liveness? What are we even doing when we step into a theater, when we put things onto stage? And we continually think about, how much art could we make if we weren't desperately searching for money so much of the time? And this play allowed us to articulate those questions and explore them in poetry and movement, and to build it as a capstone to everything we've learned about digital theater making all season long. We've all had so many conversations about this play over the past year, and not every idea made it in, but in some ways they all did, because it's the special alchemy of collaboration with so many beautiful people. All of the people on this team, pieces of all of us are in this show. And it's the kind of piece that, in spite of everything, renews my faith in what we can do. So here is to, oh, I need my drink. Here is to all the little things we can still do as once in caves, flickering shadows. Here is to love. Happy opening, everyone. Thanks everyone for joining us. And if you're seeing this on Facebook and have not yet seen the play, go to notheater.com to get your tickets now.